Hello, and welcome to this session where I'm going to talk about how you can integrate image scanning in a Spinnaker pipeline. We have installed Aquasec that provides scanning of Docker images as one of the facilities. So we'll use that to scan images. So let's look at how our pipeline is. So we have a pipeline that does a build, scan, and deploy. How does this look? So the pipeline gets triggered whenever I make changes to a GitHub repo. And then what it does is that it would trigger off a Jenkins build. And as part of the Jenkins build, what I get sent back is a properties file that has the image in it. So how does it look? So if I look at this is my Jenkins job, and this is one of the runs that had happened in the past. And if I look at the properties file, you'd see that it would send me the image back that it produced and the Git branch it is. But what I'm more interested is in the image that it produced. Then it triggers a pipeline that actually does a scanning of the image. And what do I pass to that pipeline? The image that my Jenkins triggered, right? We'll go take a look at the pipeline, but before that, so once the pipeline returns, this check if the pipeline succeeded or failed. If the pipeline succeeded, then this proceeds. Otherwise, the stage fails and it doesn't go into deploying the manifest into Kubernetes. Let's go back, look at the scan, how it looks like. So this is our image scan pipeline. So like we see, we get passed in the repo to be used and the image. We take that and pass it to our custom stage that invokes Aquascan to scan the image. Again, to it, we pass it the repo and the image to scan. Once the scan completes, we look at if the scan was successful and if it was disallowed or not. If the scan was successful and it was not disallowed, this passes and we set the scan status to be successful and it returns, right? So let's go look at how this looks like. So what we're going to do is make a change to Git and trigger this pipeline and see how it works. So this is the repo that gets triggered. So what I'm going to do is just make a simple change in one of the files to trigger that pipeline. I'm not going to make any fancy changes. Let me get into edit mode. I'll make the change directly in the UI right here in GitHub and just get rid of or maybe add a new line over here. And let me commit the changes. As soon as I commit the changes, if we go look at our pipelines, we see our pipeline has started executing the Jenkins job. If we go in there, we see it's basically running the Jenkins job. If we go look at our Jenkins, we should see here is our job running in Jenkins. Over here itself, you will see that, we have the link to the Jenkins job. So, if you want to monitor the task and all, like these are standard Spinnaker features where you can go and click this link and go look at the status of the Jenkins job, how it's going on. So we'll just wait for this job to finish. Once this job finishes, it will trigger off the scanning of the pipeline. And you can see the pipeline scan has started. If we go look at our Aquasec, we should see a scan going on over there. So let's go look at what was the image that was passed. You see the image passed was 31. Let's look at if that image is being scanned. There is something going on in the scan queue. Uh, Looks like all finished. Let's find our image where it is. Let's look at the general image over here. Let's refresh this page. This is a 31. This is our 31. The scan has completed already pretty quickly, right? So if we go back here, we see the scan was successful, right? If I look at it in the details view, I look at the console output, I'll see the output from the scan result coming back. Here is the image that got scanned. It was not disallowed, so it was passed, and the scan is successful. There should be a message at the very end which says it was successful or not. The scan result is successful, right? So if I close this, so it evaluated everything, the scan is successful, and you see that it went ahead and deployed it also. This was our build, right? Now, how will it behave if suppose there were some bugs? So if we look at it, we don't have any rules, so this is successful. Let's go and set a policy here that will make this fail. So this is our default image policy. And let's say that we don't want any high or critical severities in our images. It should fail the scan if there's such errors. So let's make that change. And if you go look at over here, uh, at the dash or the images, we will see that this is already marking these as non-compliant because there are high errors over here, right? Now what happens if I now run the same pipeline all over again? Let's see what happens. I'm going to make one more change here and let it trigger the pipeline. I'm going to add one more new line here. To trigger the pipeline, commit the change. And this should trigger this pipeline all over again. So this will go ahead and build the Jenkins, or trigger the Jenkins job, build the image, and once the image is built, it will send it to be scanned. So the build finished, and then it triggered off the next stage, which is scanning of the image. And it built this image rest at 32. So it's going on and scanning that image. And if we go look over here, we should find that image being scanned over here. This is the 32. Now the scan looks like it's complete, but it's non-compliant because we have said that high or if there are high errors, then it is a non-compliant image. So let's go look at what happens to our pipeline. So if we look at our pipeline has actually failed. Let's see why. So if we look at the output of the scan, we will see it basically tells me it was disallowed as true, and the disallowed reason is max severity. That's why it got failed. And it does the evaluation, and it fails the status of the image scan. And as a result, because the image scan failed, this pipeline also fails. So your image doesn't get, your image doesn't pass the security scan and hence doesn't get deployed. So this is how you can have image scan incorporated in your pipeline, how you can use the artifact or the image that is built, passed on to the scanner, and then take that same image and deploy it to your environment if the scan passes. Here we used a stage to use Aquasec to scan our images, but if you have any other scanning tools that you use, you can in a similar way integrate it into your Jenkins pipeline. Hope you found this useful. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.